You did it. Yep, you did. You grinded through 13 long years to walk across that stage in high school, and now, 4 years later, here you are, a whole bona fide college graduate with a degree, cords, tassels, the whole 9 yards. And boy, did you ever earn it. Countless sleepless nights, whether it was from partying or studying, somehow juggling schoolwork, a social life, club involvement, and you time, and not to mention the mental and emotional roller coaster of friendships, relationships, homesickness, trying semesters, and whatever other drama college life decided to throw at you. Yep, all that is what you did. So here's to you, my new college grads, to the amazing feat you've already accomplished, and another for the tremendous one yet to come, conquering after college life. Welcome to the real world, grad. We've been waiting for you.
College girls.
Number one, you might not get a job in your major. And honestly, as disappointing as it might sound, this is really the least of your adulting worries, because you have the rest of your life, or at least like 40 years, to do just that. I know that probably sounds like a really casual way to shrug off the piece of paper you worked so hard for, but that bold lettering across that super fancy thick paper doesn't immediately brand you for only one line of work for the rest of your life, unless you want it to. And if everything happens to work out for you that way. Oh, and speaking of things maybe not instantly working out, number two, you might not immediately move out of your parents' house either. Huge bummer, since you just completed this major milestone that was supposed to jumpstart you into perfect adulthood, I know. But it's really not all bad. It's the best opportunity to save up as much as you can so you're better prepared when you do move out. Not to mention, even if they don't let you live rent-free, what you pay your parents will be much less than rent for any apartment anywhere. And hey, you've just been away at school for the past 4 years, so why not spend a few months or even a year creating meaningful memories as your adult self with the people you love before you bail on them? I know you'll have to get back used to having your parents around, and it might be this weird power struggle dynamic thing at first, but once you settle in and proper respect is given all around to their household in your adulthood, things will likely work out a lot better than you thought. But even if you still end up feeling a little down about your situation, that's completely fine too, because number three, post-graduation depression is normal. Now, I'm not one for labeling people with things they don't feel that they subscribe to, especially when it comes to topics as sensitive as mental health. But whether you just get a little down from time to time, or you seem to have this dark cloud you just can't shake no matter how hard you try, it can be comforting to know that what you're feeling is normal, and there is actually a name for it out there if you feel like that's what you've been experiencing. You probably won't understand why you're feeling this way. You just graduated college. You should feel on top of the world for achieving what so many see as the pinnacle of educational success, right? Yes, to some degree you definitely should. But don't be so hard on yourself as to think you shouldn't feel any sadness at all. After graduating, you're going through so many transitions, mentally and physically. So it's only natural for you to experience some uncertainty and sadness in your celebration, especially if things still aren't working out in your life the way you thought they would a few months later. Even if you do land the perfect job, move out on your own, and even meet the love of your life, it's okay for you to still feel down as you adjust to a different life than the one you've lived for the past 20 years. Keep in mind that what you're feeling is temporary, and there's absolutely no shame in reaching out for support from family, friends, or a therapist. You've quite literally just started the beginning of the rest of your life, so cut yourself some slack, because not only will you be feeling a bunch of crazy emotions, but you'll also be grappling with a lot of. Number 4, self-discovery and reinvention. Believe it or not, your 20s are a lot lonelier than you would think. After you graduate, you leave pretty much the largest, most concentrated group of people in your age range that you'll ever be around in your life. And who does that leave you with? You, and a lot of you. As you actually get to know and spend some quality time with your new adult self, you'll be confronted with all sorts of realizations. What do you really like and dislike? What are your morals and beliefs founded on? Wait, do you even still believe the same principles you used to? And can't forget the childhood traumas that have been affecting you in ways you're just starting to realize. You'll have a lot of unlearning and relearning to do, even when it comes to some of the most fundamental things that make you who you are, like how and where you derive your confidence from, your self-worth, and your motivation. Some good news about this, though, is it's not something you have to worry about figuring out all at once. Self-discovery is a lifelong process that's constantly triggered by new experiences. Graduating college is just a prime example of one such triggering experience. And it's amplified by the fact that you now have tons of free time on your hands. Which leads us to number 5. It takes time to adjust to life without a schedule. Oh, don't get me wrong. It takes absolutely no time to adjust to not having to set alarms, sleeping in, and being able to do what you want when you want. But once that honeymoon phase with your bed ends, you'll likely be left feeling like you're doing a whole lot of nothing. And you might even start experiencing this weird, restless, empty sort of feeling and not have the slightest idea as to why. Well, it's pretty simple. You literally went from having every second of your life consumed with something to do to now having nothing to do, at least as far as schoolwork is concerned. And as beautiful as it is, it can start to turn real ugly real fast when coupled with some of these other expectations. But again, this is only temporary, and in this case, it's your feelings and your free time. You definitely won't have all this free time forever, so you won't feel this way forever. Number 6, time goes by way faster. When you start measuring your time by every 2 weeks from paycheck to paycheck, instead of every 3 to 4 months from semester to semester, it's easy to see how the weeks, months, and years can fly by. And as time flies, it's even easier to feel like you're stuck in the rat race or stuck not doing anything when you're used to having your time filled with meaningful work. Remember that beautiful free time we were just talking about you having? If you do find yourself enjoying it just a little too much and it's already been a few months, it's time for you to realize that now, number 7, only you set goals for you now. A lot of people tend to think that school doesn't teach you or prepare you for anything you can actually do or use in the real world. Because, let's be honest. How often do you really find yourself needing to know what the powerhouse of a cell is or solving for X? But one insanely important life habit school conditioned you for years without you even knowing is the need for goal setting. Whether it was an assignment to be read by the end of the week, an online quiz to be completed that day, or an end of semester project with scheduled checkpoints along the way, school not only set short-term and long-term achievable goals for you, but it also forced you to work towards them so that you didn't, fail. But now, with no taskmaster leering over you, forcing you to achieve, you are responsible for taking on that role for yourself. The setting and achieving of goals of any type is crucial to both our mental health and self-image, so don't spend too much time slacking off. Luckily, since you've just spent the last 17 plus years of your life being used to having goals set and achieved through the school system, it shouldn't be too hard getting back on track. Too bad the same thing can't be said for all those written assignments you did, because no matter how many papers you wrote, none of them prepare you for number 8, adult paperwork, and lots of it. Taxes, healthcare, different insurances, apartment contracts, doctor visits, 401k. I guess these are the things people actually meant when they said school doesn't prepare you for life. As much as you want to just burn and ignore all these money-sucking notices, please don't. Because the last thing you want is to be hit with more fees and charges because the big man didn't get his money on time. Seems pretty grim, I know, but the good thing is, once you get a handle on all the paperwork and overall adjusted to your new post-college life, you'll realize that, number 9, you're a completely different person than who you were in college. Long gone are the late nights of partying and drinking, followed by intense cramming for a test the next morning. Looking back, you'll hardly even recognize your old self, and I mean that in the best way possible. You'll be forever grateful for the wild, crazy fun you had throughout those 4 years, but you'll be even more proud to see all the real-world growth you have experienced since then. Because while your life now comes with a ton of new adjustments, changes, and responsibilities, there's no denying that, all things considered, Number 10, adulting is fun. You're calling all the shots because you're in control of your life for literally the very first time. Yeah, it comes with all the stuff we talked about before, but now you get to take breaks when you feel like you need them and vacations when you feel like you deserve them with absolutely no restrictions, and there's no greater feeling than that. But now I want to hear from you. If you're a recent college graduate, for one, congrats. And how have you been adjusting to life post-college so far? Have you started realizing any of these unexpected expectations? And for all of my graduates, whether you're newly graduated or not, did you also end up experiencing any of these expectations? If so, how did you deal with them, or how are you dealing with them now? Leave your answers in the comment box below and I'll respond to as many of you as I can. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit it even if you didn't. Leave a comment down in the comment box below and make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
College girls, college girls, college girls, college girls, college girls, college girls.